Monster Crunch is a 2 through 5 player game that takes 20 or so minutes, and this is a game that is about playing these hilarious little cereal characters. These are like the cereal spooky Halloween characters. So you've got, Count Chocula, you've got your Frankenberry, your Boo Berry, your Fruit Brute, and Yummy Mummy. I guess I'd never heard of that one, but hey, we got Yummy Mummy too. They got them all in here. And this is actually a really easy to play kind of card climbing shedding game. So if you don't know what that means, card climbing is basically like one player is going to be playing a card from their hand, and then the other players around the table are going to have to play a card that is higher than the last card played. In this case, you're kind of playing cereal to your bowl, and you're trying to keep those in there because whenever the round is over, you're going to be scoring all the ones that you played in front of you. Now, the object of the game is to eat as much cereal as possible, which means you want to be playing as many cards into your cereal bowl as possible over the course of 3 rounds. Now, the deck makeup, everybody's actually going to have their own deck of 36 cards. You're going to have a deck of 1 through 12, but 3 copies of each. And at the start of each round, you're going to be drawing 12 cards from that deck. So you're only ever going to be seeing these cards once each. Now, the first player can play any card into their cereal bowl, and then the next player has to play a card that's equal to or higher than the previous card played. So let's say I played a 2, well then the next player could play a 2 or anything higher than that into their cereal bowl. And it's actually going to keep going around and around, always in reference to the last highest combo played. Now, on your turn, you don't actually have to play higher, even if you can. There's always an option of passing, and whenever you pass in this game, you're essentially saying, all right, I'm done for the round, so I'm gonna be done there. You're gonna take all the cards that are currently in your cereal bowl and you're gonna move them over to your scoring pile, and then you're gonna take a milk token. We'll talk about what milk tokens do in a little bit. Now, once everybody has passed except for one player, that player is going to take all of the cards currently in their cereal bowl and move them aside to their scoring pile, and then they will go ahead and lead the next round of play with any card from their hand. Now, you're going to continue playing like this until one player has shed their hand of all their cards, hence the shedding game as well. And so once you have shed your hand of all your cards, then that's going to be the end of the round, and every player that still has cards in their hand, they're actually going to remove those back to the box, and they will not be able to score those. They are going to be scoring anything that is currently in their cereal bowl, though. Whenever you're starting a new round, you're just going to be drawing 12 more cards from the top of your deck, and like I said, you're going to be doing 3 separate hands, and then at the end of that, whoever has the most points, which is just the cards, is going to win, and each card is only going to count as 1 point. It's not actually the value, it's just how many cards you actually put into your score pile. But let's talk a little bit about what's going on with those milk tokens. So the milk tokens you can always play when you play a card in order to combine cards together. So you can either combine sets or runs of cards. So for example, I could play a 5 and then I could play a milk token and I could play another 5 together, and then you add that value, which would be 10. Now, you could do this up to any number of times. So you could do 5, 5, 5, and then there'd be 15. You're only using 2 milk tokens. So they're just a way to get a higher number and to potentially make it to where another player just can't pass your combination. Now, runs of cards can also be played this way. So for example, you could do 1, 2, 3, which would then add up to 6, but you're getting rid of 3 cards out of your hand. And so really a huge benefit of these is to get rid of multiple cards out of your hand to be the first out. So sometimes you might not be playing to get the highest number, you might just be playing optimally to get a lot of cards out of your hand. This is really a very easy ladder climbing / card shedding game, and I love it for that. I love that it's not trying to be super complex. The combinations that you can make are very, very easy. It's just you're trying to get a higher number than the last player. You can use those milk tokens to up that score. But one thing I didn't explain is that at the beginning of the game, you're going to be taking a character, and each of those characters actually has 2 special ability tiles that look somewhat like this. Now, these ability tiles can be used once per game, and they will always do some really cool thematic things. I find them all to be very, very fruitful, no pun intended, to their characters. So for example, you have, Count Chocula here. It says, use before playing a card. You can place one card from your scoring pile back into the box and then take one milk token. They've also got Going Batty. This is use after playing a card. Until the next round, players must play equal to or lower than the previous player. So you're able to change the way that that round kind of plays out, reversing the hierarchy. For the Yummy Mummy, actually full name Fruity Yummy Mummy, they've got Unwrap. Use before playing a card. Until the next round, players may not combine cards. And then they've got Mummy's Tomb. Use before playing. Swap one card from your hand with one card from your scoring pile. Frankenberry, Milkenstein. Use after playing. Take one milk token if you have 0 milk tokens. Strongberry. Pay 1 milk token to combine any 2 cards this turn. So it doesn't matter if it's a run or if it's two or a set. You can just combine any 2 cards, which is super powerful. Boo! Play a single card. That card's value is counted as double. They've got Ghostly. You're able to just draw 2 cards. So you'll have 10 cards on that last hand, but you get more cards to play out in your current one. Scary Howl for Fruit Brute. This is choose even or odd. Until the next round, players may only play cards of that type. And then lastly, their Full Moon ability, also for Fruit Brute, says that you may combine 2 cards with equal value this turn without spending a milk token. I wanted to read you all those because what you'll realize is that these are pretty powerful abilities. They didn't just go out to put like nice little accents. Sure, they're only once per game, but that's because they're very powerful. These can change that round dynamic, and I really appreciate that this game has such a simple core structure, but you're always looking for ways to use those 2 abilities to the best of your ability to try and get the most value out of it. And I think that this game just is a great lesson in packaging goes a long way as well. It's a very easy game to play, so easy to teach, very, very fun, but really it's just that aesthetic that just looks so good too. They even went as far as to give you a scoring bowl, and each of these scoring bowls has the cereal from your character. These look amazing. So you're gonna be putting the cereal in here, try and eat it up, and then you're gonna be moving it over to your scoring pile. Each player has their own deck of cards, and all of those are themed to the cereal as well. So really, all in all, the packaging, the theming, the gameplay, this game's been around ever since I got it, and we really love this game. There's never a time that we only play this game once. Whenever we sit down and pull this game out, it is quick enough to get a couple games in, and I have never had a bad game of Monster Crunch. And you get bonus points if you eat some of that Halloween cereal while playing. Monster Crunch is a party, right? You've got a lot of players, and it's very fun and very loud, but what if we go to the opposite side of it, to a tone that is a bit more dark, and also a solo game? Yeah, the next game that we're going to be talking about is Witchcraft, and I've got a link to that video right above. I will go ahead and see you over there.